Everything for me, for me, for me. Baby, it's the everything for me, for me, for me. 'Cause baby, it's the everything for me, for me.
If nobody told you as of yet today, I love you. If nobody told you as of yet today, I am proud of you. You're going to continue to achieve anything you set out to do. You understand me? Also, chosen ones, you already know. I do have to give you that brief disclaimer, all right? So I only want you to take what resonates. Thank you, gifting. And I want you to leave the rest behind, all right? I don't want you trying to force certain scenarios for you. If you don't happen to get your confirmation through me, I guarantee you're going to get it through somebody else, all right? So be patient with your process. Also, chosen ones, of course, thank you. Also, chosen ones, as you already know, my voice is too raspy to be whispering, all right? So this is about the time that you probably want to go ahead and hit that volume. Now, before we get started, as always, I definitely want to thank you in advance for all the love, like, share, subscribes, gifts, kind words, not only to myself, but each other too. Thank you again, beautiful. I appreciate you. Now, chosen ones, I do want to start off the message by saying this. You are getting prepared for your position, your purpose, and your person, all right? You are in the middle of your manifestations. Now, I have to say this as a reminder to you because you are in the middle of the manifestation, you may not realize what's happening on behalf of you, all right? So, we're going to talk about it. Now, chosen ones, I say this because there's some of you that feel like you're not making progress. There's some of you that may not see certain things that are getting played out for you, and that's because you're in the middle of the manifestation, chosen ones, all right? And I'll explain that to you. So this is equivalent to certain individuals where you see yourself every day. So you may not realize that you didn't sat there and lost certain weight, right? So this could be you going on a work. Now stay with me, okay? I say this because this could be equivalent to you, chosen ones. Somebody who's attempting to lose weight, or you're attempting to align your mind, body, and soul, right? But because you see you every day, you're not seeing certain progress. You're not feeling like you're making any movement. This is equivalent to if you're riding in your car and you happen to look up at the airplane and it look like the airplane is stuck in place, right? Because you're moving at a certain pace, it doesn't think, or it doesn't appear to be, as things are moving on behalf of you, and that's not true. You're starting to see certain small signs and synchronicities. So if we stay with that example pertaining to you losing weight, right? Again, this is not saying you need to, but this is an example for you. This is you wanting to lose weight because you're changing certain habits, right? Because you're starting to realize that you can't lose weight if you're still settling for certain stuff, right? So you get in your mind first is going to allow everything else to align. So again, chosen ones, pertaining to your mind, you're getting your mind, body, and soul right. You're aligning yourself, correct? And because you're doing the small steps that you think are small, you're not realizing it's going to have the biggest impact. You're in the middle of your manifestation. So other individuals can view you, other individuals can compliment you, other individuals can see progress when it comes to you, but you can't because you're in the middle of the manifestation. You're in the middle of the movement, okay? So I want you to sit there and, chosen ones, give yourself more credit than you do, because some of your out here talking bad about you. Some of you are doubting you, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. All right. Now, I say this, chosen ones, when I say you're in the middle of the manifestation, I want you to think about a few things. So there once was upon a time where you may not have had a job, so you didn't have any income coming in, and you may have had your bills piling up. There's some of you that didn't have income, nor did you have bills because you didn't have a place of your own. So you were staying couch to couch. You were staying from person to person. You understand? You were looking for your forever home, and you didn't have that. It wasn't presented. So now, chosen ones, you done sat there and prayed for that position to come through. So you asked God to change your circumstances, and that's what he's doing. So you asked God again. From the beginning, you didn't have no income. You didn't even have a sense of direction. God guided you to start to apply to yourself. God told you to start doing certain things, and everything was going to work out. So you did what it was necessary to be done. So some of you that was healing you, some of you that was disconnecting from certain individuals that were no longer serving you, that came in various forms, which we'll get into, right? But it all comes down to the fact that you're putting work in. So first you ask God pertaining to income. You didn't have that, chosen ones. You had to get aligned with your purpose, because some of you was in a lot of temporary positions. So this is jobs that didn't serve you purpose. They didn't reciprocate the energy to you. You wasn't getting paid for the work that you put in, and you were putting your life on hold to better their dream while you was breaking down yours in a sense, right? So chosen ones, first you had to find you. You had to find your purpose. You had to see where God was guiding you, because every place that you've been to, every person that you came in contact with, they were giving you a piece of the puzzle that was necessary. That was a tool in a sense. They was giving you a tool that you was going to use in the position as well as with the person that God is about to take you to, right? So this is equivalent to, chosen ones, the tool that you have within you: love, your discernment, your intuition. This is when you have to say no. This is when you have to pay attention. These are all tools that God guided you to, and it was based upon certain scenarios and experiences that you went through, right? So you're equipped with all the tools that you need for the position that you're about to see. But again, you're in the middle in the manifestation. It could seem a little chaotic right now, right? But I'm telling you now, you're headed in the right direction. Stay with me. Now, when I say that you don't give yourself credit, because again, we'll go back to, you're in the middle of your manifestations. The thing that you were praying for is getting presented to you. So there's some of you chosen ones that, again, we'll go back to, you didn't have a place to stay. You didn't have a job. Now you have a job, right? Now you have a place to stay. But now you're complaining because the house is empty. You're complaining because you can't save no money. But there once was upon a time where you didn't have income coming in, nor did you have a place that you had to pay bills, so on and so forth, in a sense, right? So you're in the middle of the manifestation. So if God took you from one, not having a sense of direction, to you actually applying, you know exactly where you're headed to, or you have an idea on what he has in store for you, then you go from not having as far as the income coming in to now you have a job, chosen ones, but you're complaining because you can't save money pertaining to it. But there once was upon a time where you didn't even have a job, nor have money where you could pay your bills on time, right? So you are not showing gratitude. You're not seeing what God's doing for you because you're waiting for this big bang. You're waiting for as far as loud confirmations, when he's giving you signs and synchronicities on the daily, right? So if you started off from having nothing, now you feel like you're limited in a sense, but you have something. What do you think God's about to grant you? He's going to grant you more, right? So you went from, again, not having a sense of direction, so you know where you're headed. You went from not having a place of your own, so now you have a place of your own, but you have bills to pay, right? You went from not having a job to pay certain bills to now you can pay those things, but you ain't have extra over. So guess what God's going to do? Because you are listening, because you're applying yourself, and because you're allowing God to guide you, he's going to align for more income to come in. When you're aligning your purpose, shows the ones, you have to realize the profit is the last to come, because God wants to see that you're doing this for the right reason and you're doing the things that's supposed to be done, right? So this is you getting certain positions you're getting pushed out of. There's certain people that are getting dismissed from your life. Now stay with me, okay? Because it's all going to make sense, all right? You're in the middle of your manifestation. So there could be a few things that you're seeing that you're not understanding. Now, one, chosen ones, we're going to go with that same scenario about you started here, now you're at where you're at, right? So there's some of you, okay, you could say you don't have that job yet. You could say that you don't have as far as your spot yet. You could say you don't have whatever the case may be, but there's certain things that you're still in progress with, right? One, chosen one, you're learning your worth. See, back then you was attracting certain things that didn't serve you because you didn't know your value. You was just out here accepting a bare minimum because that's what you were taught to do. So you could have had mothers, you could have had fathers, you could have had family that set a certain boundary for you, told you things to accept from certain individuals. So they taught you how to limit yourself. They taught you how to live for everybody else. They taught you how to, your happiness came from other individuals. They didn't teach you how to fulfill you. They didn't teach you how to embrace you. They didn't teach you that you're different than other individuals. You understand me? So again, you're starting to realize that it's not a one size fit all when it comes to your life. What works for them doesn't work for you because you have a different purpose that God is calling over you, right? So you're starting to realize that certain people were molding you in order to control you, and so that you basically were in value for what they wanted you to do. You're starting to see your value. You're starting to see your worth, babies. So with you knowing your worth, chosen ones, there's certain things that are going to get presented. Now, I did do a live video early on YouTube, but if you did not watch this, I'll reiterate it for you, right? Because you're setting your boundary. it's not only getting set for one specific area of your life, okay? So say you chosen ones are sick of individuals taking advantage of you. You're sick of people not knowing your value. You're sick of people not appreciating you. You're sick of people not reciprocating energy into you, right? Now, guess what happens? That boundary that you set goes all the way across the board, not just that circumstance. So if you're at a job right now and you're like, well, you're working so hard, they're barely paying you, the hours don't work from you're not able to be around individuals that you love, you're not able to be around your children, you're not able to pour into yourself because you're stuck at that position, because you feel like a stability that comes with it, you're staying at that job just to provide a certain things while your purpose, your energy is getting drained out from it, right? Now, chosen ones, when you set that boundary where you're like, listen, I'm no longer allowing people to take advantage of me. I'm no longer going to do above and beyond for this position that they're requiring. You're not getting paid for it. They're not appreciating you. They're putting all this extra work off on you. You're getting triggered when you're around these individuals. You're losing your spark. You're getting exhausted, all of these things, right? So you set that boundary. You're like, you know what? I'm no longer settling for this job. I'm no longer going to be somewhere that doesn't make me happy. I'm no longer going to sit there and break myself down in order to build somebody else's dream up. You're starting to realize your place, right? Now, with you knowing this boundary, chosen ones, I understand that it could be scary because God could be telling you to leave that job and you're talking about, well, this is the main way that you provide. You're thinking that this is the only way that you're going to survive, and it's not. God is telling you that in order for you to get what's coming in for you, you're going to have to let other things go. You can't be two places at once, all right? So you can't be in your new job and your new purpose around your new people if you're still at that old place. You can't be two places at once, chosen one. So you're having to make a decision. But again, your fears about not having enough could actually cause you to manifest against yourself, right? So if God's guiding you out of that job, again, you're getting triggered by it. When you go there, you're getting triggered. When you clock in, you already ready to clock out, so on and so forth, right? And you're talking about, well, you don't want to quit because how are you going to provide for certain things? Now, hear me out. If that job was to fire you tomorrow, what would you do? If that job was to wake up one time and tell you that they no longer needed you, what would you do? You would apply to another job. You would sit there and find something else out to work out, right, for you. So why do you have to get forced out of the position when God gave you the first option to make that decision? He's going to tell you to let go because you're about to receive something else, baby, all right? So there's some of you, I understand it's scary because you're getting called to take a step and you're not sure if that step that you're about to take is sturdy yet. Trust this, okay? God, your plan B, C, D has always been God's plan A in the first place. Divine timing. You have to follow through with faith. If you don't have faith, of course, it's going to seem like your foundation is shaking, okay? So with this, chosen ones, for your job, God will guide you out of that position. And you're saying that how are you going to provide? See, you got to put faith in yourself. You know that you have the tools that you need to do what you're equipped to do. Now, some of you could be limiting yourself, applying to certain jobs that are similar to what you're doing now. When you're already doing a job where you're doing more than what when you were expected to do. They have you going above and beyond. You're doing things more than that the job position initially required you to do. So that means, chosen ones, you have more than enough experience for that title that you're currently in. God's telling you to apply up. Know your value. So instead of wanting to be a worker bee, God's like, listen, you could be a CEO in a sense. You could be the manager. You need to apply for higher up positions. You're settling because you're not seeing your value. You're not realizing, chosen ones, again, every position that you've been in has been preparing you for the spot that you're about to be going to. So you have more than enough experiences. Every place that you went to was providing a tool for you, a tool that was going to be necessary in the final stage and phase, okay? So for the job, you were to be in your purpose. What aligns with you? What is God guiding you to do? Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the people who don't have the same vision as you, aren't equipped with the same tools as you, or do not have the same purpose set out that you do. So they're telling you that you can't do certain things because they don't have the opportunity to do it. That opportunity will never get presented to them. And if it was presented, they wouldn't have what it takes to actually fulfill that position. That's individuals that will have to lie on their application. These are people that are going to be in the same spot 10 years from now. They're not going to want any way out. They want people to hand everything to them. I tell you, you're a creator. You're going to make things happen. God is trusting you. You are the person, chosen ones, that are going to guide other individuals to do the things that they're called to do because you're going to show them that it was able to be done. But with that being said, chosen ones, you're going to have to believe in yourself. All right. So with that being said, there's going to be a lot of naysayers. There's certain family members, chosen ones, that are, you have to realize people speak spells on you. So you are not to speak spells on you too. And when I say they speak spells, this is not just that voodoo hoodoo that they do. This is not just that Santa Maria that they do. This is individuals, chosen ones, that they're speaking limitations on you. Oh, well, because you have children, you can't accomplish this. Because you have children, nobody would accept you. And that's not the truth about you. That was their circumstances. They believe that, they achieved that, and they're not going to see what you're going to be seeing, right? Now, also, chosen ones, there's certain individuals that say, oh, you got to live a certain type of way. You got to settle for this. You got to accept the bare minimum for that. No, that was their story. That's not your story. You understand? So again, chosen ones, you are here where you are going to turn non-believers into believers, but you're not here to beg them to believe it. You are here to show them that it can be done. So you're not here to prove them wrong. You're here to prove God right while you're placed in a position that you're about to be placed in. All right. So again, chosen ones, pertaining to career, if you're aligning your purpose, the profit will be the last to come. But God wants to see, are you doing this because you're called to? Are you doing this because this is what you're supposed to be doing? Or you're trying to force it and work it for you? So this is like you being a nurse because your family was a nurse and you are somebody that's not supposed to do that. Yes, you have that in you where you're a healer, but you were supposed to be using your energy for something different. So instead of washing ass, chosen ones, or wiping people's ass and all of that, you could be crossing paths with them, showing that same love. You could be healing them by your presence, by the smiles, by the energy that you're providing them to build themselves up. See, you can't just settle for what works for them. Okay, you have to trust yourself. You are aligned in a position. You have the ability to create things, and things will come into fruition. Okay, so there's some of you pertaining to your job position, God is calling you to relocate. So if that requires that job to fire you so that you'll no longer stay complacent with those individuals, that's what he's going to do. But you set the boundary for you. So you're asking, why is it happening? Because you prayed for certain things and God is presenting them. But in order to present them, certain things had to get dismissed then, right? So you setting that boundary. Now, you didn't know that when you set that boundary pertaining to the job that you're no longer settling for, that you're not going to not have time for yourself anymore, that you're going to start. You didn't realize when you set that boundary for that job, that applies for other areas as well. So now that you said that you're not going to work for things that's not, you're not reciprocated for, you're not going to give more into them than you're giving to yourself, that you're going to, that doesn't align for you. You know your value. You know that you deserve to get paid more than what you're doing. You're not going to allow them to promise promotions for you because you came up with that, right? Because you set that boundary. Do you know that that boundary is going to be set for everything around you? So now guess what? Now you're starting to see differences pertaining to your friends, right? Now, because you know your value and you said that you're no longer going to give into things that's not given into you, now you're starting to see the truth about people that you had around you. Now you're starting to realize that your friends energetically were down on you. Now you're starting to realize that your friends were in secret competition with you. Now you're realizing that you took majority of your time trying to help them align, speak life into their happiness into their lives. You were trying to be that listening ear from them, but because you were so caught up in that position, you ain't have time for yourself. That's the same percentage to a job as well, right? So then that friend being your job in a sense, depending on you, you have to take time for yourself to focus on them. You're always there to encourage them, and they're not encouraging themselves or encouraging you as well. You set that boundary pertaining to that job. So now guess what? That is going to be applied to that friend as well. So now you're falling out with them. Now you're seeing the truth about them. Now you're starting to realize that they were draining you. Now you're starting to realize that you ain't have time to do the things that you wanted to do because of the job that they had you doing, right? So now, chosen ones, you set that boundary, it's going to be reflected on fraudulent friends. Now you're starting to see the truth. People who promised that they was playing a position, promised loyalty towards you, promised that they'll be here for you, but were secretly draining you. Were secretly using you to build up what it is that they wanted. So just like that job, you were working every day for them. You didn't have time for your children. You ain't have time for your partner. You ain't have time for your dreams and admirations making theirs come into fruition. That's the same pertaining to your friends. You were spending all your time on them. You was not able to focus on yourself. So since you set that boundary applies to them as well. Now guess what? God's removing them, because you're getting prepared for the position that you're about to be in. You're in the middle of your manifestation. So guess what happens? Anything that's blocking that, anything that's delaying that, anything that's taking unnecessary energy from where you need to be at, what you need to be doing, God's going to remove from you because you got a bigger job to do, right? You can't be, if you're a generator, which I tell you, chosen ones, you're a pop-up generator in a sense. God allows you to be present where there's certain light that's absent. So why do you think that you end up attracting certain people that need you? You're the light to these darker individuals, people who can't see clearly. You provide clarity. Why do you think that you're God's pop-up generator? He gave you energy that he has so that you can help other individuals well, but you got to help the right ones, right? Now, with that being said, chosen ones, you can't charge everybody else up if that generator's charged. So think about a storm. If you ain't charged up that generator so that when that electric goes out, when that power goes out, you're going to be powerless as well. It's no need for you to even be around, because guess what? You're not doing anything. You understand? Just wasting space, basically, right? So guess what? Things are shifting in your life. So one, you're going to see that boundary be applied pertaining to your job, but that same boundary that's going to be sent directed to your false friends or your fake friends as well. So they're getting dismissed, plucked up out of your energy, right? Getting dismissed. You're starting to see the veil get lifted about them. You're starting to see the truth, demonic energy with them. You're starting to realize that they was draining you. You were realizing that by being connected to these individuals energetically, you were catching certain RICO cases. So although you didn't do what they did, you were connected to them, so you were actually facing the same karma and consequences as them. All right, so know that you set that boundary, but that same boundary that you set for the job that then went over to your friends is also going to be rolled over to your family as well. So that mother, that father, that sister, that brother, that cousin, that granny, that grandfather, whatever the case may be, those people who always want something out of you, always with their hand out to receive, people who only see your value based upon what you do for them, people that only see the value when you're molding them into the position that they want to be in. The people who only want to, again, be around you, chosen ones, because of who you are for them. People that keep you restricted because you are the generator for them. So if you was to serve at service of somewhere else, or if you was to serve somebody else, they would feel like it would restrict them. So some people have been keeping you restricted. They've been keeping you boxed in. They've been your handlers energetically, right? So this is your family that set a boundary. There's certain people, these are the same people that gave you the bare minimum and had you place them on a pedestal that worked against you. These are people that had you in a cage. You had the ability to fly. You had certain wings, but they gave you just enough to keep you content in that cage that they had you trapped in. So they gave you a little bit of food. They gave you attention from time to time. They gave you a little bit of water. They gave you a toy to entertain yourself. But again, you are somebody who was supposed to be soaring. You're supposed to be flying. You're supposed to be traveling. You're supposed to be seeing the world. People are supposed to be looking up to you. And guess what, chosen ones? You were being restricted by certain family members that set this mold for you. So that mother that was toxic, that you had asking questions or you requiring certain things, made them realize what they was unable to do. So they try to persuade you that you couldn't do it. These are the mothers that try to speak spells on you, the same spells that they are currently carrying. They try to convince you to carry it for them. So that's somebody who keeps ordering certain stuff, knowing that they don't have enough strength to carry that in, but they call you out just so you can assist them, right? These are people that are spending beyond their means, but because you make a way, because you can figure it out for them, they continue to splurge money and they want you to splurge your money on them. So you come up with excuses on why you can't do for you because you're too busy having to make up for these individuals, right? So because you set that boundary where you're saying, I'm not letting nobody take advantage of me anymore. I'm not going to work so hard and not be able to see any rewards. I'm not going to be consuming myself with time-consuming things and not have time for myself, right? So guess what happens? God has you. You set that boundary. Now, those family members are going to start showing the truth about you. They're going to start being evil. They're going to start distancing themselves from you. It's because when you had an opportunity to disconnect from these individuals, you chose not to. So God will present them with that same option. And some of these people will be quick to take it. The ones that you were contemplating, the ones that took you so much time to consider. You was doubting making the decision because you didn't want them to be upset and all of this. They'll be quick to make that decision when they feel like it's going to put them in a higher position. So you always get first option, okay? Now, with that being said, that same boundary that you have pertaining to no longer accepting a bare minimum, that carries over to certain lovers that you actually attract. So because that foundation that your mother sent, that you was adhering to them, you let your mother or your father talk to you crazy and you came up with excuses on why they was doing what they was doing. Oh, it's okay for, that's just how they are. Oh, it's okay for your mother to talk crazy because that's your mother. So guess what? That carried over. Oh, it's okay for your friend to talk crazy because that's your friend. Or, oh, that's okay for your partner to talk crazy because that's the lover. That's the person that you're supposed to be with. You're no longer settling for that. So when you start to see through it, you're like, oh, absolutely not. Anything that aligns with that is going to get removed out of your life. So now guess what? That person who was uncertain about you, that person who tried to linger around or lure you, the people who were trying to hold you back so they wasn't being who they were supposed to be towards you, but they wanted to keep you for them because when they needed you, you was there to replenish them. They tried to keep the charger to themselves in a sense, right? While they out here playing games. So that's equivalent to think about somebody needing a charger. Your divine person needs a charger for their phone. But you had that past person using the charger for your phone. But instead of that past person using that charger to charge their phone so they are fully at 100 and now somebody else can have it, they're sitting there playing games. So their battery keeps draining and they still need to be connected up to you to provide charges for them when there's somebody else who's waiting for that charger because they have moves that they had to make, right? They need that charger for their phone to be charged because there's calls they got to make. They need that charge. So there's certain people that are holding you, chosen ones, because you and while they're playing games, they're just again holding up energy, right? Knowing that again they should be pausing the games that they're playing so that they can replenish them, but they choose not to. So this is them being in third-party relationships, them being in focus on certain worldly things instead of within, right? So again, chosen ones, you can't be the person that you're supposed to be for your divine person if you still have people from your past that's not supposed to be connected to you in a sense, connected, right? And when I say people from your past, this could be years from now, years ago, months ago, but this could be days ago too. This could be weeks ago too, because even today you're a different individual than you were yesterday. So if your ass cussed somebody out yesterday, you a different person. You learn from that. You're not going to make the same decision. You're not going to let them trigger you. Okay, if you was yesterday that was given to this person, texting them, blowing them up, and all of a sudden God had something click, like you are not going to chase somebody, because if you're chasing them, that means they don't want to get caught. So if you're running them down with love, that means they don't want to get caught. Okay, so again, chosen ones, instead of playing that game with that person, you go on and take your energy to the right one. So you're setting boundaries. You're seeing that person who was unsure about you. Somebody else is going to know your value automatically when they encounter you. You are somebody that with time you grow your value. So the time that you took to heal, the time that you took for God to reveal, the time that you took to be in your purpose, it took time for your value. You're a collector's item. So that's like those Barbies back in the day, those Tonka trucks back in the day, the Furbies back in the day, the Trolls back in the day, where those collector items now people are valuing, but at that time they didn't see no value in them. They was upset because they couldn't play with them like they wanted to. So there's people who encountered you and didn't see your value because they couldn't do what they wanted to you. God didn't allow them to cheat on you. God didn't allow them to deceive on you. God didn't allow them to beat on you. And if they did, as soon as you disconnected from them, that karma and wrath came in. That's why they try to keep you close to them, because they knew that God wouldn't let that wrath hit them like they supposed to if you're within a certain type of distance. But when you get these warnings, God's only going to warn you a certain amount of time before you start getting hit as well. You may not get hit as hard as him, but you're going to get hit because you should not still be around them. All right, so just know that. But chosen ones, but again, you knowing your value, you're no longer going to chase individuals. You know, you're no longer going to be selling yourself to individuals, because there's certain demons that deliberately try to deter you from the people that are for you. They try to dress themselves up as your divine masculine or feminine, and they try to present themselves as they know the person that you're truly supposed to be with is supposed to be presented, right? So they'll act like they're everything that your person is supposed to be, but that's just in order to deceive you and also deter you. So this would be like, say your divine masculine is somebody who looks a certain type of way, has a certain job, or is a certain sign. the karmic will dress themselves up and say that they're that sign, say that they have that job, say that they're whatever the case may be, right? And then when they do not fulfill that position because it's not within them to do so, they are deliberately deterring you. So guess what you say? Oh, I don't want to date that sign. As soon as you hear that sign, you start rolling your eyes. And the whole time, that's what the enemy wanted you to do. As soon as you hear about, as far as the description of your divine individual, you start saying that you don't want that because you start comparing it to that individual. And the whole time, that person was dressed up in a disguise to deliberately deter you from the right one. So you had to know that some of these sirens are trying to trick you. Sirens are trying to lure you in, all right? That's the difference, chosen ones, okay? It's a difference between a siren and a mermaid, all right? Now, again, some of these people were to lure you in. It's the difference between God guiding you and people luring you. And that's what the karmics did. But you're going to look at your divine person and you're going to see that everybody that you encountered had a slight piece of them in them. So your divine masculine could be somebody who is a teacher, had a certain sport, dressed a certain type of way, had a certain type of look. Your divine feminine, the same thing applies to them. They could have a certain way with them, have a certain sign to them, whatever the case may be, right? So guess what? The past people had one or two things. They didn't have everything. So they had the career, but they didn't have the love and affection. They wasn't a protector. This person seemed like they could protect you, but you end up needing protection from this individual because they wasn't for you. They was deliberately deterring you. So that's what the enemy will try to do. Come dressed up as certain things in order to deter you, to distract you, but also have you turning away certain things that God has for you. So do not believe the hype, all right? So again, you're going to know that you're divine person because they're going to have everything on the list. They're going to be loving. They're going to be able to protect you. But some of the protection may not come in the form that you think. So you may think that you need that alpha male or that person who's rowdy, and that person, the whole time your person could be a protector by keeping you in your peace, keeping you away from certain things that could attach to you, attack you, cause issues for you. They may not never have to physically defend you, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't have the ability to. But you're thinking that it's going to be presented a certain type of way. But think about that. When you thought that the masculine energies or the person who was supposed to protect you was supposed to be all rowdy, those were the main people you end up needing protection from. They didn't take no for an answer. They stalking you. They mean to you. They trying to control you. They trying to tell you that you're not going to move on to another individual, whatever the case may be. So you have to know how looks can be deceiving, okay? You have to know that, chosen ones, because the same way that they didn't know your value, they didn't realize that all their prayers was coming true when they got presented you, that God had you wrapped up in a different disguise so people around them wouldn't know what was arriving. They didn't take heed to that. They were supposed to take a moment and look inside, but they chose not to. They had signs and synchronicities. They didn't check as far as those notifications about you. So guess what? They may have missed out on the opportunity. Now, with this being said, there's some of you chosen ones that you set this boundary. Now you have love coming in. There's some of you that was wondering why you keep encountering people who have third-party people connected to them. Whole time, it's because of you, chosen ones. You are attracting them for various reasons. Some of you were attracting third-party energies because you still had third parties connected to you. You still wasn't over that ex. You kept replaying what they did to you. You, instead of learning from that, letting it go, realizing out of sight, out of mind, you was putting yourself back in that cycle by reminding you what they did to you, comparing everybody that you encountered to this individual. You were bringing them back in your life. You was keeping them manifested in a sense, right? So, chosen ones, you had third-party energies because you still had a third-party energy around you. You still was unsure. You still was allowing this person to dictate you. So that could have been an ex that still was dictating you because you were scared to trust individuals based upon what you went through with them. There's some of you that was still bringing third-party energies in because you're talking about, oh, I'm going to cut this person off when my true person arrives. But your true person is not going to arrive because that would have been a third-party energy. You would have sat there and contaminated them with the person from the past. So there's some of you that your new person can't come in, chosen ones, because you have that past person who jumped the fence, didn't do the work in order to purchase that ticket to be in that position. You have them sitting in your true divine person seat. So in order to get the new, you got to get rid of the old, okay? Now, so you're wondering why you bringing in third-party energy. You still replaying what happened to you years ago. So now you're bringing third-party energy energetically in the picture and wondering why you're attracting people who can't get over their past, still got somebody on the side, still want to try certain options out. There's some of you, you're attracting third-party energies because you have third-party energies connected to you. Now, what do I mean? Your mother got an opinion on everything. Your brother got an opinion on everything. Your friends have you doubting and questioning everything. So you're bringing third-party energy in because when God is giving you confirmation that this is your person, this is your position, this is what you should be doing, you allow other people to influence you, distract you, deter you, encourage you to not do what God guided you to do, right? So I have you question you. So this is the people who put fear in you. These are the people saying, oh, it can't be done. You'll not get it done. Or how you know that they not going to cheat on you? How you not? No, you allow them to get in your head. So you bring third-party energies in, right? So why do you think that you keep attracting people who are attracted to other people or connected to other people? Because of who's connected to you. You got a mother who got an opinion, a brother got an opinion, sister got an opinion, your pastor got an opinion. Everybody got an opinion about a thing that you should have an opinion on. You understand? So with that being said, guess what's going to happen? You're going to attract individuals who have that same issue, are other influenced by other individuals, don't believe in themselves, question you as well. You're wondering why they're not trusting you, because you don't even trust you. You're not trusting your intuition when God's showing you, because you're the type that have to see it to believe it. Your ass going to get hurt then, all right? Sometimes I got to give you a warning, like that fire alarm. That's in a warning that there's smoke around, that carbon monoxide, whatever the case may be is off. You get that warning. But without that fire alarm, your ass is either going to be in the fire or you're going to F around and be dead from things that you're not seeing that was going to give you a warning for instead, right? So there's some of you chosen one. Your intuition is that fire alarm, giving you a heads up before you see the fire, before you see certain negative things encounter. If God's telling you intuitively, that person's cheating on you, that person's deceiving you, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't believe it. Of course they wouldn't want you to. But if God's telling you, guess what? In due time, that's going to get presented to you. And he gave you first options to do and make your decision on what you wanted to do, right? So stop that. How they say a hard head makes a soft ass. Now you keep crying, why me? Why is it happening? He gave you warnings long ago when that person was acting sneaky and you instead of trusting what God showed you that person was in the wrong for you, you doubted you, that you didn't believe that what you was feeling was true. Oh, you blamed it on your past. Well, maybe you feel like that because the last person you encountered. The whole time, no, God was saying you was encountering somebody that was just like them. That was your alarm going off, but you chose not to trust it. You're not doing that no more. You hear me? And I'm so serious, babies. You're not doing that no more. Okay? So intuitively, and again, come to me. I'll help you develop your gift. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to prepare you for the tests that get presented. I'm here to close out certain cycles for you. I'm here to guide you to where God is taking you. I'm going to provide you with the confirmations if you are not seeing things clearly, but I'm going to prep you for that test. I'm going to prep you for that graduation in a sense. I'm going to prep you for that marriage. I'm going to prep chosen ones. I got you. Okay? But believe in your gifts. I'm here to teach you how to use your intuition so you don't have to be dependent on anybody else. As soon as God show you, you go with it, all right? But some of you may not know what voice is God and what is voice of somebody else is trying to deter you. I got you. Links in my bio, okay? Now listen, I got you, all right? But hear me out. No more doubting yourself, because you have to trust you and where God's guiding you. Also, chosen one, some of you are thinking that you're not hearing God clearly. Sometimes God will have you make a move that you're like, well, why even do this if he was going to have me do that? He just wants to see if you was going to listen to him, because the next time he tell you to move, that could have been detrimental to you. That could have been something that could have saved you. So if somebody says duck, are you going to look around and say, why you all saying duck? And now you got hit in your head. Now you knocked the fuck out. Now you over here seeing stars till Saturday. But if somebody say duck, you going to duck and then look around like, oh, what I was ducking from. That's what happens. Sometimes God will give you a warning. Sometimes you'll wonder, why, God, did you have me make this move and then tell me? Sometimes God wants to see what you're going to do. So think about football, that pump fake in a sense. He going to act like he's throwing it here just to see people run in that direction, and he going to throw it to you instead. See, chosen ones, you better get your hands open to catch that abundance. You better get your hands open. So we're going to stick with the example pertaining to football right now. I don't know much about football, but what I do know, I'll tell you, right? So think about football. There's an offense and a defense. The offense's main purpose is to get into that end zone, to get that field goal, to get some points, right? Get that ball moving up the field. Now, the defense is to do everything in its ability to stop that from happening, right? So, chosen ones, you're on the offense. Now, some of you may not have been the lead player initially, right? So you was a hidden talent. So during practicing, you was practicing that perfect flow throw. You was practicing that perfect catch. But because you wasn't front and center, people may not have seen your value in a sense. Because you was on that bench, they didn't see any excitement about you. So they was just giving attention to the people who were being flashy, the people who was arrogant, the people who they seen other people noticing. So they thought that that was their value, not realizing that you were somebody who was teaching people, right? Now hear me out. So you was sitting on the bench for several seasons, chosen ones. Everybody else was getting recognition. That person who wasn't even as nice as you at the game was getting the center of attention. And it wasn't because of their talent, it was because of who they knew, right? It was because of how they sold themselves in a sense to other individuals. They was marketing themselves. Whereas you was laid back. You ain't had to do all of that. You was working certain things out. You was perfecting your gifts, your talent, whatever the case may be. Now hear me out. See, chosen ones, all of a sudden that season's going to come. Now, this is equivalent to certain individuals, chosen ones, who chose that feminine or masculine over you because they was flashier than you, was getting more attention to you. They was showing their body off, so they thought that they had all the value. They seen that they was making certain, thought that they was better than you the whole time. Now, you was just waiting on your turn, right? See, chosen ones at that point in time, you allowed them to crash and burn. See, that person who really wasn't nice like you at what it is that you do, but again, people was giving them false value. Now, when it came down to it, they had to prove themselves and they wasn't able to, right? So this is the season where God's about to sit them out. They about to have injuries. They about to play themselves, whatever the case may be. So this is certain people who did you wrong that has karma coming in, okay? So the people who used to be all center of attention, now their asses is getting benched, okay? Now hear me out. This is your time to shine. So you've been practicing on that perfect catch, right? You've been practicing on your run. See, you got cardio too, chosen ones. See, all those times that you had to start over, all those times that you had to start fresh, see, that was you gaining cardio in a sense. So think about you having to run those drills time and time after again. You was getting prepped for this position, right? So now, chosen ones, you're built. You got all the tools that you need. You just waiting for that opportunity to present itself. And guess what? That's what you about to see. So now you're about to get that opportunity presented, and you're about to show that you've been waiting. You've been getting prepared for it. Now hear me out. With this being said, you getting called off the bench. Now, chosen ones, it's your time. You on offense. That means you're in the season to receive. That means you're catching, right? So that means you got your hands ready, your eyes ready. God's been playing certain drills. See, this whole time, you and God been working with each other. So although you haven't been the center of attention, God was preparing you for that position. So this is like him telling you secret drills. This is God telling you, hey, when you get this, when I say this, you go make that move. See, everybody doesn't feel like you have value because they ain't see you do it, right? Okay. So you and God been working together. That's you and the coach been working together. So as soon as that person who was used to be in that position, God's removing him, he's benching him. Now you getting called up, right? See, nobody sees your value. So what do? They run to other individuals. So that's you looking like you don't have finances, looking like you don't have people that love you, appreciate you. You looking by yourself. You looking like you don't have value. See, that's what God did to trick the enemy about you, right? Whole time he has all the wealth within you. Whole time he has manifestors within you. The whole time they doing magic, and the magic is really within you. You understand? You ain't got to do voodoo, hoodoo, all of that shit. You already have what it is in you to do the things or get the things that you're supposed to get. So he had you secretly hidden, right? So as a defense, and these demons trying to stop people, they were stopping the wrong ones. So they cluttered up with the star player. They teamed up with this person who looked like they had finances. They started attacking this person that was flashy. Whole time they ain't realizing you was the person getting prepared for that position. So as they're partnering up with, fuck that. I ain't gonna fuck that word. You hear what I'm saying. As they're connecting with other individuals, chosen ones, at that point in time, guess what's happening? You're open to receive now. So God's telling you, now defense is to stop you. So what did God do? He's like, we got to remove these people who are around you that's trying to stop you. So you're on offense. You're supposed to have your hands open to receive that abundance, that opportunity, that love, that light, that financial wealth, prosperity, all of that, right? So you're supposed to have your hands open. Okay, cool. So God has these other defense people stopping these other individuals, right? So these were certain friends. God said, push away from them. Partnerships, God said, push away from them. That job position, God said, push away from them, because you had to get away from them to get your hands open to receive, right? So guess what happened, chosen ones? Now, guess what? People didn't see you as a competition. They didn't see you as something that they had to worry about. They didn't see you as a threat. So every time you told them, stop doing black magic on me, because you don't know how my ancestors don't play about me. You told them that you're about to be in a season to receive. You said that you were about to be the star. They ain't believe it. You told them that God told you that he got something powerful for you, but they didn't believe that, right? They ain't see your value. They wasn't supposed to. Had they seen your value, they would have stopped you. They would have been close to you. So God was like, nah, let them do what they do. He had you up the field running ahead of these individuals. See, when they seen you running up the field, they was laughing. They thought you was like Waterboy. They thought that you was like, what's his name? Forrest Gump, in a sense, running with no destination, no location that you was going. Whole time, God had you running away from certain people for a reason. See, he had you run away from them fake friends, that job position, that family, that fraud, with all of that, right? Just so that you can get your hands open to receive. See, when they was all worried about each other, see, God will use the enemies against the enemies in order to put you in position that you're supposed to be in. So he'll have the darkness take out the darkness so that you don't have to get in the darkness in order to defeat them. He'll have the negative take out the negative to do what? Create a positive, right? So guess what happened, chosen ones? You got pushed in a direction far away from these people. They couldn't see your vision. They couldn't see the things that was supposed to come in, but they wasn't supposed to. So now you're up in the head of the field, and all you have to do is look up and see what God got for you. So he going to call your name at a certain time. He going to call a certain play that you've been prepared for. And guess what? When it's time for it, chosen ones, you're going to have that come up. You're going to be success. And guess what's the difference? You're going to stay there. These other individuals briefly had seasons of success. God just wanted to show them what they could have gotten had they did the right thing. So now you got longevity. Now you done broke certain cycles. Now everything that you have, you earned it. You ain't got to look over your shoulder. You ain't got to question if it's going to get taken, because you earned it, deserve this. You ain't do that fraud shit. That's like these people did PPP loans, scam, the chase shit, this shit, that shit, whatever the case may be, instead of just doing the right shit in order to get what they were rightfully supposed to be getting. So, chosen ones, you did the right thing. Now everything's aligning for you. You hear me? So get prepared for this. You got to look up. That means stay optimistic. Don't down it. If you looking down, how you going to see what's coming in for you? How you going to see that person that's about to walk towards you? How you about to see that opportunity? You got everything that you need. Okay? So this is your season. It's a shift occurring. You set that boundary. Now everything has to adhere by it. Now, with me saying this, you have love coming in. And I'll use this as a different, I'll come back either later today or tomorrow to tell you what's actually about to get presented to you. But you got to get prepared for it, chosen ones. So this is like, again, you prepping your surroundings. The same way that you're going to prep yourself if somebody say that they on their way now. So now you have a few moments to get a few things together. So the same way somebody say they're about to pull up, now you're going to hurry up and wash up. Now you're going to hurry up and clean up. Nah, God say get things aligned right now. So clean up certain things around you, not just your house. Clean up certain people around you. He's starting to have people take themselves out energetically from around you. You're seeing the truth about them. Jobs are starting to get removed from you so that the position that's for you gets presented to you. You understand? So this is your preparation time. You're getting prepared for a reason. You're in the middle of your manifestation. You understand me? So congratulations. Now, chosen ones, I'll come on here later or I'll come on here tomorrow just so that I can tell you what you're getting prepared for. That's that person. That's that position. Because some of you don't even realize who's about to get represented. You hear me? So just know that. I love you. If you need me, the links in my bio, I got you. I got coaching sessions, 30-minute, that we're on the phone with it. You can ask me any questions of clarity that you have, but I'm going to talk about your past, your present, and your future too. I'm going to prepare you for what you're about to be walking into. Some of you, if you want a personal reading instead, where I record a message so you can go back and reference it, the links in my bio, I got you too. Also, I would recommend just subscribing to my YouTube, the links in my bio, only because I do upload videos on there that I may not come on live to relate to you, okay? So I love you. Love you too, babies. Love y'all. Y'all continue to be great. If you need me, you know how to reach me, okay? Be great.